Ken Jennings reveals his unexpected path to Jeopardy fame. Early career, new book insights. Imagine being known as the greatest of all time on an iconic game show, yet never intending to make it your life's work. This is the astonishing story of Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy host, who reveals that his journey to fame was not exactly planned. In a recent interview, Jennings shared his early career aspirations and how his life took a dramatic turn, leading him to become a household name. But here's where it gets interesting. Jennings' path to success was not always about Jeopardy, and his new book, The Complete Kennections, is a testament to his passion for trivia and learning. The book, set to hit shelves on July 29th, is a collection of over 1,000 questions and puzzles that will put your knowledge to the test. However, Jennings admits that he wasn't too thrilled about the title, calling it an unpleasant name that was suggested by an editor at Parade magazine. Despite his reservations, he's excited about the content, which covers a wide range of topics from geography to myths and fables. So, what did Jennings want to do with his life before Jeopardy became his claim to fame? As it turns out, he studied English in college and had dreams of writing and teaching. However, he also pursued a double major in computer science, which seemed like a more practical choice at the time. I was doing a double major in computer science, and in 2000, it was absurdly easy to get a job at a friend's startup, even if you were a terrible programmer, which I was, he recalled. Writing was always a passion, but it didn't seem like a viable career path. Fast forward to today, and Jennings is not only a successful author, but also a beloved host of Jeopardy. His origin story began with reading World Book Encyclopedia during rainy recess days, which sparked his love for weird and interesting facts. He believes that his generation is the last one to justify having nerdy interests, and he's proud to be a part of it. Whenever Jennings is out and about, he's always on the lookout for new ideas for trivia questions. For instance, a visit to a bagel shop might inspire a question about the different types of bagels, such as sesame or poppy. Although Jennings didn't always have Jeopardy on his radar, he's always been passionate about trivia and its importance in our lives. I'm a believer that trivia is not just a bar pastime, or even a way for little Lisa Simpsons to get told they're smart into adulthood. I always felt trivia was kind of a universal social good, a way to enjoy cultural literacy, he said, and this is the part most people miss. Jennings thinks that trivia has the power to make learning fun and enjoyable. You need to remind people that learning is not a chore. If it's not fun, you're doing it wrong. And trivia is very good at that. As we look forward to the new season of Jeopardy, premiering on September the 8th, we can't help but wonder, what's next for Ken Jennings? Will he continue to dominate the world of trivia? Or will he surprise us with a new venture? One thing's for sure, his love for learning and sharing knowledge with others will always be at the forefront of his journey. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Jennings that trivia is a universal social good? Or do you think it's just a fun pastime? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Ken Jennings on competing with today's Jeopardy champions. Ken Jennings opens up about whether he could beat today's Jeopardy contestants. At the very pinnacle of Jeopardy legends, many fans might naturally assume Ken Jennings, the 74-game champion turned host, would easily overpower today's competitors. But here's where it gets controversial. Jennings himself isn't so sure he'd still come out on top. In a candid conversation with TV Insider, Jennings shared that while he hosts the show, he actually follows along with the clues, testing himself to see how many he can answer correctly. However, with the current superstar, Scott Riccardi, dominating the board, the question arises, Does Ken believe his long-standing record of 74 wins is at risk? And what does he really think about this rising champion streak? Scott Riccardi, celebrated for his recent 14-game winning streak, is credited with saving the season as the current run of Jeopardy, Season 41, draws to a close. Positioned 12th overall, Riccardi has surpassed competitors like Ray Lalonde and amassed an impressive $390,902 in winnings, with 3 games still left to play. While 14 consecutive wins might seem modest next to Jennings' historic 74, Riccardi's momentum could signal a lengthy and successful tenure. According to Jeopardy's leaderboard of legends, Ken Jennings holds the top spot for both the longest consecutive winning streak and for the highest earnings in regular season play, totaling $2,527. In overall career earnings, which include tournaments, he ranks just behind Brad Rutter, who has earned $4,370,700. Keep reading to discover Ken Jennings' insights on Scott Riccardi's impressive run and how Ken channels the spirit of Alex Trebek in his hosting approach. When asked if he tries to solve the clues mentally while hosting, Ken was honest. "I do, but not in the heat of the game itself, because it's very busy." However, like Alex Trebek, I preview all the clues beforehand to check pronunciations and get a feel for the categories. Alex had a unique way of marking up his scripts to guide the flow and rhythm of his delivery. I've inherited some of those scripts and learned his language that way. Now I do the same. Often I'll have a phone or notebook handy to cover up the answers and quiz myself quietly. But I've noticed I'm not as sharp at Jeopardy as I was 20 years ago with a younger brain. I've lost a bit of that lightning speed, but it's still a lot of fun to play along. What goes through Jennings' mind when a contestant like Scott Riccardi racks up win after win? Is it a moment of panic or pride? It's been quite some time since we had a super champion like Scott, so his streak is really thrilling. Usually, I'm rooting for anyone who could break my record. Although I don't have a favourite player, I do love the idea that my record can be surpassed. I want to witness it firsthand if it happens. Of course, there's a delicate balance as a host. You want to hype up the champion to show the audience how remarkable they are. But you also need to keep the tone respectful for the other 2 contestants, to avoid demoralizing them. After all, there's always the chance of an upset. On Jeopardy, eventually, everyone loses. That's the unbreakable rule. Jeopardy airs on weeknights. Be sure to check your local listings to catch all the excitement. So what do you think? Is Ken Jennings right to believe his reign might still be safe? Or is Scott Riccardi and the new generation of Jeopardy contestants poised to rewrite the record books? Feel free to share your take in the comments. Are records meant to be broken? Or does Ken's legendary streak stand unchallenged for good reason? Ken Jennings reveals his future as Jeopardy host. La revelación sobre el futuro de Ken Jennings como presentador de Jeopardy ha llegado y es emocionante. En el cierre de la temporada 41, que se emitirá el 25 de julio, Ken ha compartido sus planes sobre cuánto tiempo más permanecerá al frente de este querido programa de concursos. La temporada 41 de Jeopardy está culminando de manera espectacular con el supercampeón Scott Riccardi, quien ha estado en racha durante 16 días, intentando finalizar la temporada con otra victoria. En la tabla de los legendarios, Scott ocupa actualmente el 8º lugar en la lista de ganancias de todos los tiempos, con un total de $455,000, y está empatado en el 10º lugar con Ryan Long por la mayor cantidad de juegos consecutivos ganados, con 16, lo que significa que podría ir aún más lejos. En una entrevista con TV Insider, Ken, quien ostenta el récord de la racha más larga en Jeopardy, con 74 juegos, reveló que no tiene planes de abandonar el programa en el corto plazo. El último presentador, Alex Trebek, trabajó hasta sus 80 años. Tradicionalmente, este no es un trabajo del que uno se retire, explicó Ken. lo que sugiere que su compromiso con el programa es fuerte y duradero. Es interesante notar cómo la historia de Jeopardy ha estado marcada por la longevidad de sus presentadores, lo que plantea la pregunta, ¿debería Ken seguir este camino o es hora de un cambio? ¿Qué opinas tú? ¿Crees que es bueno que los presentadores se queden tanto tiempo o es mejor dar paso a nuevas voces? Déjanos tu opinión en los comentarios. Para más detalles, puedes consultar el artículo completo en Screen Rant. 25 de septiembre 2025 por Lorian Palinkas. Screen Rant. Además, hay noticias relacionadas que podrían interesarte, como el posible regreso de Mayim Bialik y otros temas sobre el universo de Big Bang Theory. No te lo pierdas.